instructions here. You should have made a folder on your hard drive called Seneca Drive, somewhere where you're going to keep all your lab files, and then you're going to copy those 3 files into that folder. So base, points, and Canada TAC. And then we're going to open that base drawing. So you're going to go to the top here. You're going to go to open. You're going to go to drawing. You're going to go to the folder that has it. So I'm just going to find the folder that I have it in. See, I made a folder called Seneca Drive, and there's the drawing base, and we're just going to open that up. Now, we get this little warning. The drawing was made in a previous version of AutoCAD, so once you save it, it'll update it to the most recent format. I'm just going to close that. Just going to wait for everything to open here. It's going to take a little moment. Now, I'll tell you right off of the bat here, you can, the task pane here, you can close. We won't really be using that. So you can have, tool space open. Prospector will be using a lot of that in the settings here. And once, there we go, my drawing's ready to go there. I'm just going to move it over so we can see the instructions here. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to save this as our first iteration. And this is the format that we're going to save our iterations. So it's going to be your last name dot your first name dot base 1, exactly like it's written here. So I'm going to go to save as. I'm just going to make sure I'm in the correct folder here. Yes, I'm in the correct. It's got to be in that Seneca Drive folder. So I'm going to put my last name. You're going to use your name. Oops. Last name dot first name dot base 1. We're going to save that. Once it's saved, you'll see on the top left here, it'll save the name of that iteration. We're good to go there. Now we're going to create a new layer. So make sure you're on your Home tab here, and on the rhythm, you're going to open your layer properties. I'm just going to expand the window out here so we can see that a little better. I'm just going to widen the names so we see all the names of the layers, and we're going to create a new layer here. So we're going to click this button, New Layer, and that layer is going to be called VTopo Spot. So I'm going to go all capitals. So we've created a new layer. I'm going to change the color of the layer to red. So I'm just going to click on the color here, choose red. And we're going to make that, we're going to double click. The check mark means that that's the current layer. That's what I want. So we have a new layer called VTopo Spot. It's current and the color is red. Now we're going to change one setting. There's a setting that's been changed, the default setting that's been changed here in 2023 AutoCAD. So what on the Home tab here, you're going to find the points button up here. You're going to click that. You're going to go to Point Creation Tools right here. We're going to click that. A little window is going to appear on the left. I need to expand this. You're just going to click the double chevron here on the right. And we're going to change the default layer. That's what we're going to change here. So you can see the default layer, when we import some points now to our drawing, the default layer that goes to is layer 0. And I don't want that. I want it to be that current layer that we just created. So I'm just going to click that, click the dots on the side. And then I'm just going to go to the very bottom here. And you're going to use current. That one that says about use current, we're going to hit OK. So it's set for use current. Once you have that, you can close this. And there we have it. And now we are going to import some points here at the bottom. So you're going to go to the Insert tab here on the top. We're going to import points from a file. It's going to open up a little window for us here. Now, so what you're going to do here is, and this is the top of page 4 here, we're going to click the plus button here on the side. You're going to go back to your Seneca Drive file, which I got to find again here. And it's going to be, you can see it doesn't show that's anything here, but it's looking for a text file. So our points file is a CSV file. And there it is right there, points. You're going to hit that. You're going to hit open. It's going to list it here. Now we got to just choose the right point file format. And that one is, it says on here, it's PNEZD, comma, delimited, which should be the bottom one. Now there's another one that looks similar, but I believe on everyone's, it should be the bottom one here. You're going to click Add to Points Group. Then you are going to change the name here by clicking this little button here, and we're going to call this existing ground. There we go. We're going to hit OK. And then we are going to hit OK. Now, this is just going to take a little bit to do. Then you'll see on points group, we're going to be able to expand this menu here afterwards. I'm just going to give it a moment. It's a lot of points it has to. And you'll see the drawing, a whole bunch of points will appear on the bottom half of our drawing here. So we'll just give it a moment. There we go. It's appeared there. You see all these points here now. And the points group tree is now expandable over here on the left. If I zoom in on the drawing, you can see all these points. It's a big mess here. So we're going to clean that up first. Okay, so I'm just going to go back. We're going to change kind of like how that looks. So let's go to our instructions, and we're going to right-click, open up your points groups trees. There's that existing ground that we just created. We're going to right-click and hit properties, and we're going to change some of the properties of this, okay? So we're going to make sure the information tab is open. The point label style is we're going to change this to elevation only. So that only lists that. Then you're going to, of that one, points elevation only, you're going to click the arrow on the right here, this little small arrow, and you're going to select copy current selection. It's going to open up another window there. Okay, and in the information tab of this window that just opened, we're going to rename this only. So it's going to be called elevation only 45D. Like that, 45D. Okay, then under the layout tab here, we're going to open the layout tab, and we're going to change how the layout is going to look like here, right? So we're going to change the text height. The text height is going to be changed to half of the size, so 1.25 millimeters, like this. And we're going to rotate this. This is why we're calling it 45D. So it's going to be tilted at a 45-degree angle like that. We're going to close this window, the label style composer, and then the point group properties we're going to close. We'll hit OK, and you're going to see in a moment. There you go. Now, if I zoom in now in the drawing, you can see all our point labels are nice and neat, showing only the elevation of the point at a 45-degree angle. So there we have it. And now we're going to save. And of course, that is the rule of the day, to always save as much as possible. So I'm going to hit Control S to save. You can see it says Q save on the bottom. You can also go to the menu here and just hit save as well if you wanted to do it like that. Then we are going to create a surface. So in Prospector again, we're gonna find surface right here. We're gonna create a surface. We're gonna right click on surface and create a surface. It's gonna bring up a window. So we're going to change some of the properties here. So the type is going to be tin surface, which it is already here. The name, we're going to switch, and it's just going to be capital E, capital G, existing ground. The description will be existing ground. There we go. The style is going to be set to no display. So I'm going to click here, click the buttons on the right, and click it to no display. Hit OK. There we go. And then we're going to hit OK. There we go. Now I'm going to go back to our layer properties manager here. And I am going to open that up. We're going to make another layer current. Oh, there we go. It's popped up. So we are going to make, which one is it that we're making current now? We are making OG North current. So I'm going to go to OG North, double click that. The check goes on there. So it's the current layer. Now we're going to turn off all the other layers. Okay. So the way we do that, we're going to go back to our layer properties here. So I'm going to right click on OG North. I'm going to select all but current. So it selects all the other layers. And then I'm just going to hit the light bulb. That'll turn off all those layers. So the only layer we're going to see in the drawing, once I close this, is OG North. So it's a bunch of the original ground, the red lines that encompass the northern part of our original ground. Okay. There we go. So we're all set there. Now we're going to expand the surface tree here. We're going to expand the EG tree. We're going to expand definitions. We're going to right-click contours, and we're going to add these contours here. There we go. So I'm just going to change some settings here. So under the weeding factors, distance will now become 2 and angle is 1. Okay. Under supplementing factors, the distance will be set to 0.25. Okay. And we're going to click OK, and the dialog box will disappear here. Oh, it must be greater than weeding. Sorry, I must have made a mistake there. I apologize. Weeding is 2, angle is 1. Oh, under supplementing factors, set it to 0.25, and it should be okay. What happened here? Well, it's the mid-ordinate distance that we changed. So we're going to cancel this again. So let's change that one more time. We're going to add. There we go. Sorry, I changed the wrong distance here. So it's going to be the weeding factors is 2, angle is 1. My bad. I'm so sorry about that. So we're going to keep it. It's the mid-ordinate distance that we're changing. I read the wrong instruction here. This is going to be 0.25 here. There we go. So if you make a mistake, just hit cancel before you do anything else, and then it won't take. Okay. And then we're going to hit OK. And there we go. We're fine now. Then we're going to select the contour, and it's going to add it to these contours here, okay? So we're going to select the contour data just by putting a box around the whole thing, like that. And we're going to hit Enter, and there we go. So you can see that there's a dot next to contours here, and at the bottom left, you can see our contour data has been added. There's 47 that should be. If you if you put a box around everything, there should be 47 contours that it captured. We're going to save our drawing again. So I'm going to hit Control S, make sure it saves. Okay, we're good. We're going to turn on layer V node. Okay, so I'm going to go back to layer properties. I'm going to go to V node, and I'm going to turn that one on. There we go. So now we see the contours and the nodes that we have here. That's the only thing that you should see now. Under tool space, under EG definitions, EG definitions, right-click points groups right here, and select Add. We're going to select existing ground, and then you're going to hit OK. There we go. The existing ground, you can see at the bottom has been added to that points group. Now we're going to turn on a C10 boundary. All right, so we're going to make it current. So I'm going to find C, that's just is higher up here. We're going to turn on C10 boundary. We're going to make it current. Now we are going to draw a boundary. So the first thing that what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure our OSNAP settings are set properly. And for what we're going to do, we're going to draw a boundary, a polyline boundary around this whole thing. So we got to make sure that our endpoints are checked off and our nodes are checked off as well. Okay, so that's what we need. Make sure that OSNAP is on. And now what we're going to do is we are going to do a closed polyline boundary around this whole everything here in our surface here, including the nodes and these contour lines. So the way we do that, we're going to try and do this all in one shot. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're going to type PL. We'll wait for it to come up. We're going to do polyline. We're going to start the point. Now, the way I start it is I started on the top right here on this little endpoint right here. So I'm going to go to there. It'll OSNAP to it. And then you're just going to click. I use middle click, of course, to drag, and then left click. And I'm going to touch every endpoint. We want to do this in one shot. Left click when I get to an endpoint, then scroll with the middle click, and then down. Now, this is not exciting, but we got to get everything done here. So I'm going to demonstrate the whole thing. You can zoom back just to find. Now, all these endpoints have to be touched. Okay. You need to zoom in, zoom in. This first half is the slow half. It'll speed up once we get closer to the end. Things are a bit more spaced out. Now we're going to find where. Now you see we're going to hear in our notes. So what you're going to do is you're going to go straight down to the first node, and this is the rule that I kind of follow here. Is if you can make a 45-degree angle like this, do it, and then go down as far as you can, not to the very bottom, but to one before, and do another 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to just follow that procedure around the entire outside area. We're just going to keep going here. Keep going. We're almost at the bottom here. We're getting there. Tilting back to the left now, 45. Over here, we have two 45s in a row. And another place where we have two 45s in a row. Scroll. Now we're near the bottom now. I'm going across. And now we're heading back up now. Okay. So there's a few little finesses we have to do going up here. I'll show you. Just follow along. I'm sorry. I know this is not exciting to watch, but there's a few little points I want to make here towards the end. We can do two 45s here. Okay, now we're getting to one of the points I want to make here. Now over here, you can see the nodes and the endpoints, they kind of overlap here. So you want to kind of hit all of them. So we see here we have, I'm at a node here. I'm going to hit this endpoint, then another node, and then another endpoint. And then we got a lot of little tight endpoints here. You can zoom in, make sure you grab all of these. Once we get through this, it'll actually speed up a lot. We're almost near the end then. Now we zoom back. Now, if you zoom out, you got to tilt downwards here briefly. Another little point to make is we got a big gap to cross here. So we're going to go to this endpoint here. And when we go to this endpoint here, you can see we've kind of like cut off the boundary a little bit. You can see there. That's okay. Don't worry about that. That's not the end of the world here. Then we're actually almost done. We got a few big jumps to do. And I'll show you how to close it off properly, okay? Now, when you get to the last dot, which is over here, if I went to here, I would cut off too much of the contour line here that we see. So what you're going to do is you're going to just put a random line up into space here, somewhere over here, doesn't matter where. Click there. And then you're going to hit C and hit enter. C is to close it, and it closes the polyline. And if I zoom out, you can see we've created one single polyline around the whole entity here, right? So there we go. And then we have one last step to do. Now, by the way, the instructions down here at the bottom of page 10 are if you do this in more than one line. You can do it with more than one line, but then you have to kind of like join them together to make one, right? So you'd have to just follow these instructions down here. So that's what we did with all this here. And now the final thing we're going to do is in tool space, you're going to go to that EG surface tree that we created here. And under definition, right click on boundaries, click add. I believe we are just going to use the defaults. That's going to ask us to select it. We're going to select the boundary created. It should, when you touch it, it should highlight the whole thing. See how I did this? You're going to select it. There we go. And that is our boundary now. You can see it's been selected. It's been added down here on the bottom left. Boundary now has a dot next to it. So our boundary is part of our surface under boundaries here. And we're going to give this a save. And I'm going to make sure that it's saved fully here just to make sure. I'll just do it one more time. There we go. It's saved. And that takes us to the middle of page 11 here. And we will continue this in the next video. Thank you.